92.5 FM.
And we welcome you in. Afternoon Drive live from the Players' Championship. Frank Frangie along with Hays Carlyon here on location. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters as we get set to do Afternoon Drive here. Glad you are with us. Glad you are along for the ride. Am I hitting the right button?
No, I don't think so.
How about now?
That's fine. We'll fix it.
How about now?
That's better.
See there? Listen, I don't know if you know this, but
That's
I got
impressive.
a little engineer in me.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then you can turn your mic down some.
Okay, good. I also can tell you that Hays, I think that we blew him out. He's lost his hearing now.
It's okay. I was raised on heavy metal. I'll bounce back.
How about
Yeah.
that? We good now, JJ?
Yes.
Listen. If you didn't need to get up on an antenna and
It was almost like being on the Apollo right there. I'm not going to lie. That was some pretty impressive engineering.
I'm trying to grab it, and Hays is looking at me like, you know you don't know what you're doing. And not only you know, everybody knows you don't know what you're doing, so please stop. So, but we're here live at the Players. We are glad you are with us on this Tuesday. As you know, our Tuesdays are all brought to you by the Nimnick family of dealerships. That means Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue. It means Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Avenue. You know what's happening around here, don't you? You realize the whole Helmets and Heels team is
It's
here?
amazing, yeah.
I mean, how often do you get to do a show
Not often.
surrounded by the Helmets and Heels ladies?
Yeah, it's
I
fantastic.
mean, all three.
Yeah.
You never get that.
Never get that.
So, but two just left us, by the way, so that didn't last very long.
No.
So there's that. All right, all kind of things to get to today on the program. Glad you're with. God, it's a beautiful day out here at the Players. The Military Appreciation Concert is about to start. Now, all the festivities start right at 5 o'clock, as you know. God, just look. Now, they don't do it at the clubhouse now. They do it at 17, which is the perfect place. And I walked by it. I know you did, too.
Yeah, they're ready.
They are ready. The band's set up, and all of it, the setting is there, and it's going to be perfect. But gosh, is the stadium beautiful here? The clubhouse with that big flag on it, and then even though they don't do the performance here, the American flag, and then underneath it the flags of all the various military service areas for us, the Marine flag, the Navy flag, all the different branches, I guess I should say. It's just a gorgeous day today here at the stadium.
It is a 10 out of 10 today. Just beautiful weather, sun shining, and little wind. So I would imagine that, the players in their practice round probably got a little bit of confidence today collectively, because I would imagine it was, a pretty receptive course. But yeah, it's spectacular out here. It's going to be a great event. It always is. Military Appreciation. The Players' Championship does such a first-class job with it. The fan shop is incredible.
Really is.
Gene and I were over there just a little bit ago, and, I mean, it's remarkable what they can construct on a temporary basis. And they've got everything you could ask for in that. So yeah, I mean it's a wonderful place. What I love about the Players, like we love golf. We love watching, particularly high level elite major championship golf. But I mean, you can have a ball out here and not watch a single golf shot.
Right.
I mean, it's really amazing. So and when the weather is like this, it's just spectacular.
And I've got an admission that I have to make, and it's a serious admission. For what it's worth, of all the years we've been coming out here, we do shows from different areas over the years. Now we're in the Palm Valley Village, which is beautiful here, right near the kind of to the left of the ninth hole as we're looking up at that beautiful clubhouse. Hays, I had never been in the pro shop. I had never been in the fan shop. I just had never. I knew where it was. For people that don't know, it's near the public fan entrance. Mm-hmm. It's near the general parking, and it's right there next to. And you walk out, and then there's 17. If you know where the general parking is, you know it. So it's right there when you come in. I had no idea they've constructed Dick's Sporting Goods.
They really have.
I mean, it's honestly like a BJ's or a Sam's or a Costco. You feel like, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. You walk in, you feel like you're in it's just the size of a Costco, and I didn't realize that. I had no idea that what they built was that magnificent. Did you?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea because I'm like you. I don't often, go. I might go to 17, but I don't often go all the way back to where the pro shop is. And I want to say that's only been there 2 or 3 years.
And I'm an athlete.
I think it's still a relatively new construction. I could be wrong on that, but it is magnificent. If you are looking to buy gear here at the Players, or if you're planning on coming out to the Players, you really should walk through it.
And I'm an Lee Smith will not be with us today because he's got a the military appreciation stuff starts at 5. Again, he's got 1,000 things to do. He's the executive director here, obviously. But starting tomorrow, he'll be with us at 4:20, 3 straight days. The final 3 days we are here, and I will tell you that I'm going to ask him all about how that grew. You know, his wife's involved in the merchandising of PGA Tour. They both worked for the tour, and his wife Sue is involved in that. And I'm going to ask him, and I think she travels with the fan shops all over.
Oh wow!
So they'll have a real good idea. But again, folks, if you have not been to the fan shop here, it is the best way I can describe it is imagine if you walked into a Dick's Sporting Goods, okay, and got rid of all the other sporting goods and put golf stuff there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. It's that big.
They probably have 30 different name brands on
everything
on the men's side, and I would imagine it's got to be even probably more on the women's.
So imagine if you walked into a Dick's Sporting Goods or an Authority or one of the big ones, or Academy, not Authority, Academy, an Academy or a Dick's, and you walked in and you got rid of everything but the golf stuff, and you replaced every shelf with golf stuff, player stuff. It's really amazing, and I'm gonna learn more. Does Bay Hill have something like that? Do all the tournament stops have that? So we'll certainly have. But anyway, it's an amazing stop. We'll certainly talk some golf today. Again, Lee Smith will be with us starting tomorrow every day here on the program. But we've got a lot to cover today. We'll talk about golf. I walked the whole course today, so I got an idea of how the course feels, and it's in magnificent shape. Like Lee told us last week, one of his buddies said, "Man, can you make it any greener?" It is really green. And I also know this, because we get excited about the tournament, and we want to say nice things and positive things over all the years we've been coming out here. I've been coming out here since they had the first one in '82, right? So I've been coming out here forever. So over all the years we've come out here, we always want to say the weather's perfect. Today, you'll never have a better weather day in the world, anywhere.
If this was the first round, you would have seen a lot of 64, 65s today, I think.
It is probably, I'm guessing it's probably 72 degrees right now.
Yeah.
There's no wind.
And with the rain we've had, the ball would be very receptive. Right. But, I mean, whether you're playing or whether you're a fan, you couldn't have drawn this one up any better from a weather standpoint.
Yeah, so it is really, and the way it looks, until through the end of the day Saturday, not a drop of rain. Temperatures in the 70s. It might hit 80 on Saturday, I saw. Did you see that?
Yeah.
But it's mostly temperatures in the 70s. Cool in the morning. Dan and Jeff were cold this morning, because I can tell you it was about 49 when they were out here. But cool weather. Perfect weather, and then now Saturday, and we'll ask Lee about it. He's probably might have to fight the rain for an hour or two in the middle of the day. Sunday, that is, not Saturday. But other than that, it's perfect. So we'll give you some thoughts on the players.
And I even saw that when I looked that they had moved the rain from Sunday to Monday.
Oh, well, is that so right?
We may dodge it unless they've changed it again.
But it's going to be. The point of the story is it's going to be very good weather. So we'll talk a lot of players out here, and we love being out here. There's a vibe out here. There's an excitement out here, and again, that military appreciation concert is one of the best things you'll ever see, and I hope you're either on your way out here or you're here, and I hope you enjoy it, because I think it's going to be absolutely spectacular. I truly do mean that. So, all right, a lot of things we'll get to today. Let's look back at the Jags free agent haul, as it were. Obviously, they're not official till tomorrow. It's all got a hold, by the way. Mm-hmm. Guys could change their mind or something, but it looks like once you've agreed, you've agreed. They can't sign.
It's like 96% probability. Yeah. Occasionally, you see a last-second change of heart, but for the most part, it's very, very rare.
Yeah, so we'll certainly go over some of that. We went over the 9 that they got yesterday and the significance of it. I'll tell you kind of where I think they're headed with that coming up today on the program. I do want to get into the Florida basketball team. We didn't do it at all yesterday, because yesterday was a day for the Jaguars. Yes, yesterday was really we were at the Haight, which is a marvelous college golf tournament. Our friends at UNF host it every year and do a wonderful job, and it was great having Nick Morrow on and talking a little bit about that and that wonderful Sawgrass Country Club. But other than that, yesterday belonged to the Jaguars, and shame on us if we had gotten deep into anything else. But there is something truly special brewing in Gainesville.
Yeah.
So something that the likes of which I don't know that we have seen. I said this on Twitter or on X or whatever it is. I'll say it to you. It's one of the greatest regular seasons in the history of Florida sports, in any sport. I will compare it to the 95 and 96 football seasons. I will compare it to the 06, 08, and 09 football seasons. I will compare it to the 84 football season. Regular season. I will compare it to probably the best comparison, probably the best regular season probably the best regular seasons in Florida sports history are 95 football and 14 basketball. That's probably the two best. As far as regular seasons, those are probably the two best. 95 football and 14 basketball. And in my mind, I would compare it to those. You agree with that?
I do agree with it because of what you pointed out, the other day. The SEC, it's not just the strongest year the SEC has ever had in basketball. It's the strongest year any conference has ever had in basketball. And so I saw this stat, and this was amazing to me. David Teal, who covers the ACC, which is, the ACC has been a fantastic basketball conference, obviously, and they'll come back. But did you see that there were 180 ACC conference games played this year, none of which featured a ranked team versus a ranked team?
Wow, that's amazing.
That was the first time that's happened since 1966-67 season.
How about that?
In the SEC, they had 144 conference games.
Right.
43 featured two ranked teams.
Wow.
43-0.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That I didn't realize.
So, it's just for them to do it with this kind of resistance, it's incredible what they've accomplished.
Well, I'll give you one. How about this? How about if I just saw this stat. If you don't count the 3 ACC teams that are going to be in the tournament, Duke, Clemson, and Louisville, okay, if you don't count those 3, Duke, Clemson, and Louisville, the rest of the league, I got 18 teams in the league?
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of the league had 14 quad 1 wins.
Wow.
Auburn had 16.
That's amazing.
That's
just amazing.
The rest of the league, the in quad 1 games, if you don't count Duke, Clemson, and Louisville, the ACC in quad 1 games was 14 and 112.
And I think it's going to carry over to the NCAA tournament. It's remarkable.
14 and 112.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah, it really is. So really,
just the fact that they're only going to get 3 teams in is stunning. When the SEC is going to get at least 12, and has a outside chance. Lenardi has them with 13 today, but we'll see. He has Oklahoma in, and I don't know if the Sooners will do enough this week to get in, but we'll see. But again, maybe if Oklahoma doesn't, could Texas win a couple of games, and Texas goes from wrong side of the bubble to probably in. But it's just staggering, and I do get a sense. What about you? I get a sense this is going to translate to the NCAA tournament. We don't know the matchups yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC got. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the national title game is an SEC versus SEC game. Wouldn't be surprised if they had 2 of the Final Four. Wouldn't be surprised if they had 5 of the 8 and 9 of the 16.
I agree with all that because of the volume of it. There's great volume. I will tell you this, and I do believe this, and where college basketball, college sports are, NFL football and college football are like this, and college basketball. The 3 sports that are like this are NFL football, college football, and college basketball. What they have in common that's different than all the other sports is you're one and done. When you're one and done, anything can happen, okay? How many times? Villanova won the national championship against Georgetown. Georgetown would have beaten them 9 out of 10, not 8 out of 10. Georgetown would have beaten that Villanova team in whatever year it was, 85, whatever it was. Georgetown would have beaten that team 9 out of 10 times. The 10th time is the one they played, when they shot 69% or whatever from the field. So the point being, one and done, anything can happen. My concern for some of the SEC teams, and Florida is among those, okay? My concern is, all right, right now, Gonzaga's on the bubble. Believe it or not, Gonzaga's on the bubble. One of the best 4 or 5 programs in the last 20 years. They're on the bubble. Now, they're probably going to get in. So let's say Gonzaga gets in as a 9 seed.
Which is probably what they'll be.
Yeah, so they get in as a 9
Same as Kansas.
Yeah, great example. Kansas or Gonzaga get in as a 9, okay? They beat the 8. The second round, Florida, or for that matter,
any of them.
Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee.
Right.
Who just the heritage of their program. Florida's been more than those other 3, but the heritage of the program, you're not used to being there. Your players haven't been there. Here comes Gonzaga and Kansas, even though in the portal era.
UConn might be in the 8-9 game.
Perfect. Another example. So all these teams, even if all their players haven't been there, the fact that their uniform has been there, their coach has been there, that's a real advantage. That's a scary. I promise you, If Florida Gonzaga was the game to get to the Sweet 16, I'd be nervous as hell.
Of course.
Florida UConn, Florida Kansas, and so that in a one and done world. Now, give me best 4 out of 7 against Gonzaga. I'm not worried at all. But a one and done, and so that but your point's a very good one. I think the SEC is going to keep doing this because there's so much a volume of teams. But I also think someone in the SEC is getting upset early.
Well, absolutely.
The odds say there's 12 of them.
Yeah.
So the odds say. But it is truly.
You've hit on a key storyline that's going to be the talking point Sunday night when the bracket's out. The first thing these experts are going to look at after they get through who got snubbed and things like that, but they're going to look at that 8-9. There's going to be probably 3 8-9 games,
right,
where you're talking about a Gonzaga, a Kansas, or a UConn sitting there in the second round for 3 of those 4 number 1 seeds. If Florida gets a 1, it's absolutely one of the first things that they're going to look at is because you're right. I mean, it's like Kentucky. Kentucky's not going to be in the 8-9 game this year, but we've seen years where they've been in that 8-9 position.
Right.
They've knocked off the 1 and gotten to the Final Four.
That's exactly.
You don't think the Kansas Jayhawks could do that?
Right.
Of course they could.
Yeah, and by
if they peak at the right time, they can absolutely do it.
And UConn and Gonzaga might have the 2 best coaches in the country.
Right.
So you might be, and they may not be, but I mean, if you took a bunch of polls of 50 national college basketball writers and asked, give me one answer, best coach in the country, I got a hunch that Mark Few and
Bill Self,
Danny Hurley, Bill Self, would get a lot of votes.
No doubt about it.
So, but we'll see. But this special year for Florida continues. I want to get to it a little bit later on and tell you why. We'll talk more about golf too, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous course. I'll tell you some of the things we saw when we were out here. We'll update you as the military appreciation celebration continues along. We'll get to all that coming up in the program today. But let's take a break. When we come back on this Nimnik Tuesday, I want to get into the free agent class one more time, or another time, why they took who they took, where they're headed from here, the good and the bad of it. I'll give you those thoughts when we come back. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Could someone talk to me? When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
1010XL.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contract protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Hey, poker fans, the stakes are high this month as Best Bet dishes out over $550,000 between Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the St. Augustine poker rooms. Feeling lucky? How about $300 every 15 minutes at the table games, or cash in on the $20,000 race to a race, or every Friday, $1,000 every 30 minutes. And go for the green on St. Patrick's Day, where a Royal Flush in clubs wins up to $5,000. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Real estate isn't just a job, it's a commitment. With Paige Covington, you get a dedicated partner who's available day or night because buying or selling a home doesn't follow a schedule. Your needs come first. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling for top dollar, Paige Covington goes the extra mile every time. Meet Paige Covington with England Volkers at String Sports Brewery on Penman Road in Jacks Beach, Friday, March 21st from 4 to 6 for Madness with the Frangie Show. PaigeCovington.evrealestate.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Amelia Tucker, senior varsity track and field and soccer player at Wilson High. Amelia is involved with student government and is a member of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, Amelia.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We do thank our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet is on Cassett Avenue, Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. The Nimnick family so involved in this golf tournament. Really, so involved in anything sports-related in Jacksonville. I really mean that. I'm not just saying that because they're buddies or we've worked together a long time. If there's something happening big over the years, I don't care if it's JU Athletics, UNF Athletics, the Players Championship, obviously the Gator Bowl, stuff that's been here 30, 40, 50 years. The Nimnicks are involved in it, and I'm proud to be a spokesperson for them every Tuesday on this program. Frangie and Carlyon with you. We're live from the Players Championship. We'll talk more golf coming up as we go a little bit. But let's get back to that class yesterday, the 9 p.m. the 9 players that the Jags signed. I won't give you the details, but you know by now the 2 tight ends, Hunter Long and Johnny Munt. You know Jordan Lewis was the cornerback. Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback. Diami Brown, the wide receiver from Washington. Patrick McCarry, probably the one that people have raved about the most, the offensive lineman from the Ravens. Chuma Edoga, a backup offensive lineman from the Cowboys. Robert Hainsey, the center from Tampa Bay. I hit them all, right? So
yes.
I hit all 9 of them. So here's my thought. Fan guy, and I don't blame it. We're all fan guy, but fan says, why not more big name guys? Why so many names that we don't know when a lot of the big name guys were changing teams? Here's the answer as I see it. Whether you like it or not, the reality on this, the reality here was the roster has a lot of holes. Okay, the roster has a lot of holes. They didn't go 5-18 because of bad coaching, in my opinion. Certainly not entirely. They went 5-18 in large part because the roster had holes. That's just the reality of it. And I think when they looked at the roster and they saw it, they said, "Listen, we have some work to do here. We have some work to do here with this roster." And I think for that reason, they said, "We probably need 12, 13 guys right now to lift that floor, as you call it, Hays. But we can afford 9 or 10. But you can't go sign 2 or 3. If you look at the teams that got the big name guys, they probably signed 4 guys.
Right.
Give or take.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars are either lead the league or very close to leading the league in number of guys signed.
Yeah. So when your team is in a position, when you're in a place where you believe you have to go get 12 guys or want to go get 12 guys and have to go get 9 or 10 and have no choice, then you can't spend a bunch on 1 or 2 names that everybody knows. That doesn't mean you don't think that was the best guy at the position. It might be the guy you thought was the best guy at the position. But if in rebuilding this roster, what you believe you have to do is get volume, which is clearly where they were. They believed they had to get volume. If that's where you think you are, Hayes, you can't sign the big name guy. You can't. I mean, realistically, if you think about it, 3 years for 37.5 for Patrick McCarry, who I think is their highest paid guy. Yes. Brown got $10 million a year because it's 1 year, right. But he was the most money they're passing out. The most money they committed to was McCarry at $37 million. That's an awful lot when you got to go get 9 guys. And I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you my assessment of this is, if I've got to pick 10 players when you only have to pick 2 or 3, and we have the same salary cap, you're going to get bigger name guys than I am. That's just where the world is. Agree or disagree, I think that's where the world is.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I think in looking at it, if you look at doing like a 53-man projection, just going through it, with the 9 guys that they added, and I only included the core guys on rookie contracts, or guys that had done something for this organization. Adding the 9, I've got 47 guys. Now, they've still got a 10-man draft class, right, so they're going to get there. But to your point, yeah, I mean, the other part of it, too, is it's not even necessarily a question of that the roster was bad. It very well may have been. It also is just you're doing something totally different offensively and defensively. And even if you've got some good players, they may not be great for what you are now going to be executing or attempting to execute on the field. So, it makes sense why it would have been this. We thought this is what it was going to be.
We said it
before. I mean, it never felt like it was going to be the usual Jaguars free agency, I will grant you, has been go sign the 2 or 3 huge names and then fill in, because they've had ample cap space. They weren't paying anybody. Remember the conversation about no one ever gets to a second contract here? Well, that is no longer an issue. You've got Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, Tyson Campbell, all on second contracts. And so, I mean, in looking at it, they always were going to need quantity. And again, that's not even necessarily an indictment on the roster. Right. It's they need guys that know what is expected. And if Liam Cohen could find a tight end who he had worked with the Rams, if they could find a tight end from Minnesota that Udisky was familiar with, if they could find, going down the list here, Hansey the center who obviously Liam Cohen was with last year. They were going to do that. And again, they're really going to be in great shape from a cap standpoint because they've got $59 million in dead money this year because of all the cuts they've made. Well, that's going to disappear. So next year, when you do start to see like the Trevor number get bigger and things like that, they'll be very well positioned. And again, I still think in the draft, there's no reason you shouldn't get 4 really competitive players with the 5th pick overall, a high second, and 2/3. Particularly if those 2/3 are like a guard and a receiver.
In your opinion, given where they stand now, let's assume with 10 draft picks, 5 can really contend to be starters or significant contributors for the sake of the conversation. I'm going to go 5 for now.
Yeah.
Give me the 5 positions. Top of your head.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll go defensive tackle. I'll say the order is.
5 spots that they need. I'm not worried about the order. The 5 spots they need to address.
Okay, I think defensive tackle, receiver, interior offensive line, safety, and edge.
Yeah, me too. I think corner, I'm probably going to throw corner in there because I'm not sure you don't have more slots, more nickel corners than you do outside corners. So I might throw corner in there. But, yeah, you hit them. Defensive tackle's got to be high on the list. One more receiver's got to be high on the list. Another safety's got to be high on the list. So, so the point of the exercise is there's no mystery now. It may not play out that way. I will
think of the holes if they'd only signed 3 guys.
Correct.
Even if they were 3 of the top, even if it was Will Fries or Milton Williams and a big time safety. More so than Eric Murray.
And I think they've put themselves in a position, too, because they've addressed so many spots, the best thing you can ever do in a draft that nobody does, but the best thing you can do is best player available. By the way, people say it's not about need. They're all lying because everybody drafts for need. No matter if people say they're not, then they're lying. But the reality is, it's the closer you can get to best player available, well, the better position your team will be. So it's clear to me that this is they want to build through the draft. We said this yesterday. Their best players, the best current players on the team, the best current players on the team that have been Jaguars, not new players, are all guys that they got through the draft. So ultimately, that's what they will do. Now, as we look at these guys specifically, I'll go through some thoughts I've got. I think Patrick McCarry is going to be really good. I think he's going to bring a physicality to them, and I think that's important.
Yeah, the Ravens don't play finesse ball.
Yeah, no, they don't. They never have and never will. He brings a physicality. Robert Hainsey, from what I'm told, is just got that pissy, tough, nasty side to him. I don't know if they've had enough nasty. They've had tough.
They haven't.
But they haven't had nasty. Robert Hainsey, I'm told, is nasty, and he also knows the offense. Remember it. No, he didn't start. And there's the flyover.
Yeah, here we go.
You hear the flyover, which is awesome. We don't have a great look at it, but we sure can hear it. And we hear a fantastic flyover. I hear it pretty clearly. So, but Robert Hainsey is the guy that was under Liam Cohen for a whole year. Okay, he was there. I mean, he knows he's a smart guy, so he knows every bit of that offense. And what a great guy to have help your quarterback understand.
Oh, wow. Now we can see them.
There they are. Two jets that are making their way here.
That's awesome.
They are gorgeous military jets, aren't they? Oh, I can hear those. Can you hear them? JJ, can you hear that?
Absolutely.
Back there? I think
awesome.
JJ said yes, but it was so loud I couldn't hear him. So
that's cool. I've never seen them loop.
No, they looped around. Yeah, and again, we're closer to the clubhouse. The activities are happening on 17. But anyway, so Hainsey knows the offense, and apparently he really knows the offense. He's a smart guy. He even was very helpful in helping the rookie center that Tampa Bay played last year learn the offense. So you got a guy that's going to be your starting center that's got a nastiness to him that knows the offense. You've got an offensive guard in Patrick McCarry who's just physical. Okay, and I'll tell you this: you got a guy in Chuma Edoga that don't think he won't push those tackles. I asked that question last night when I obviously our job is to research after the fact, right? I asked that question, and don't think right now he's a swing tackle, and that's the plan. But don't think for a minute that he wasn't brought here to push. Those tackles are young guys, and don't think for a minute he's not going to push Walker Little and Anton Harrison. Someone said, well, I told someone that story today. Someone, do you think he'll beat him out? Well, I have no way of knowing. I've never seen Udoka. I mean, who knows what he's going to be like in a Jaguar uniform. But I like the fact that he's going to push him. Both tight ends are really physical football players. Hunter Long is very physical. They're both physical football players. And they go with – so the move tight end now becomes Brenton Strange, who's also a very physical football player.
And again, you really wonder if there will be much of a move tight end.
Well, there might not be. That's right.
I mean, he may not want it to be that, obvious to the defense as to what you have to cover here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but having said all that, that's a way more physical tight end core. It's a physical offensive line. So it's clear to me what they're trying to do. Well, you have, if Jordan Lewis, if your top three, for the sake of today's conversation, if your top three cornerbacks are Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, and Jarian Jones, okay? When you hear all that, the first thing you think, well, Frank, two of those guys are nickel corners. I got it. But you know what nickel corners are? They're physical. Nickel corners tend to be more physical. That's what you're seeing here. I can also tell you that Foye Oluwakun's moving back to middle linebacker. The decision to move him from middle linebacker to outside was crazy.
Blunder of all blunders.
A guy that led the league in tackles the previous 2 years, so you're going to change his position.
Yeah.
And so it was a crazy decision that Ryan Nielsen made, and it made no sense at all. Eric Murray is not a great cover guy as a safety, but you know what he is? How many times am I going to say the word?
Physical.
He's physical. That's what you got here. If you look top to bottom at what you got here, of your 9 players, 5 are physical blockers. All right, 3 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends. Your cornerback is a nickel corner, and he's a physical player. And we've been told that. That's what happened here. Is you got so most important guy. We're way late here, but I want to get through this segment before we get to some other stuff. Most important guy of the 9 and why?
I think it's Makari for what you said. I mean, the physicality, the experience playing all over the line, but I think at right guard, he really does bring a physical presence.
I agree with you. That's first. Give me second.
Second, I would say Jordan Lewis, because I do think he has a rare combination of intelligence, physicality, and savvy.
Yeah. I'll go Diami Brown second, because if he's what they think he is, okay? Remember, it's a 1-year deal. By now you probably know he's the guy that for 3 or 4 years didn't do much. 3 years, I guess it was, in Washington. And then probably from Hays the 3rd week of December on, he was as good as any receiver in the league. I mean, he was dominant in the postseason, running by people. Apparently, and again, the questions I asked, apparently he's really fast. I didn't know that. Yesterday, maybe you did. When I saw the name yesterday, I didn't know what it's. I mean, we all went and saw the highlights at the end of the season, but and of course that deep ball when he beat Dallas on the deep ball wheel. But apparently, I think about that was McLaurin. My bad. But apparently, he's really fast. Like he shows up here, and he's one of the fastest 2 or 3 players on the team.
Right.
So
and he's still barely into it. He's like mid-20s.
Yeah, that's right. He's 25 years old. So the point is, if he can give you, I'm not expecting him to be Brian Thomas Jr., but if he can give you those same things, nobody on that team could do that last year. I know Gabe Davis was a deep threat, and I was really excited about him when they signed him from Buffalo, because every time you looked up at Buffalo, he was getting behind somebody. It didn't feel that way?
Yeah.
Every time Diggs and those other guys did more stuff, but every time you looked up, Gabe Davis was behind somebody. Every time. So I thought, okay, he's a deep threat. Well, and maybe it was just 1 year, but he was anything but a deep threat. He's still on the team, and I hope he does well. But I think we know right now that Diami Brown is 10 million years ahead of him. And I know they owe Gabe Davis $12 million for this year. I know. But not, this regime didn't go get him. This regime went and got this guy. So I think he's really important. Agree?
I do agree. I don't have a lot of optimism that they will be right about him. I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's here to bring explosiveness on to the other side of the field, bring some yards after catch, because you can just throw him out a bubble and let him go to work. So I just, to me, there's to give him, $10, $12 million for, a guy who's caught 35 passes is his career high. Like that's a lot of belief in a player. So my guess is they'll be disappointed with what they get out of that, but hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll take a break. So that's our thought that's the look at the class now. I don't think you'll see them add anything else in free agency now. There's a second wave of free agency. So one final thing. The names you saw in the social media world that they were interested in. We know now a lot of that was wrong, okay? Well, they got outbid for Chris Godwin. No, they didn't. They never went after him. They were never interested in Godwin. They were never interested first time around, I don't think, in Cooper Kupp. Now, you look up and Cooper Kupp gets cut tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Nobody's interested. He's in his 30s. He's been hurt a bunch. All of a sudden, if this $20 million a year guy becomes 15, 10, 7, $4 million a year, well, then you might be interested, right? But then guess what? Everybody else is too. So I think so the big names that you heard they were interested in, they probably weren't. That's the reality. So that was probably never true. But they got the guys they were interested in. I still think, one final thought, I still think there's areas that they've got to improve. They're still not a third pass rusher. They're still not a third edge. They're still not there in the safety. They still need more safety. So there's other things that hopefully they do through the draft. But that's our look at the class, why they're here, who they are, who can make a big impact. When we come back, let's talk some golf with the players. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship is the biggest PGA Tour event you can win.
If you can't make it to the Players, let 1010XL bring the Players to you with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
The Deck Guys.
And Taco Lou.
Sportsforecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At sportsforecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. Sportsforecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action by securing your season tickets today. Become a member to get access to exclusive experiences, VIP events, and more. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm-fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins. Just seasonal produce hand-picked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com. Connecting real people to real family farms. Doorbellfarms.com.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tacori and Veragio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
It's time to keep the party going. All Parrot Heads unite once again with Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band.
It's 5 o'clock song.
Live in Jacksonville.
Wasted away again.
Daly's Place, Saturday, March 15th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Let's keep the party going with a tribute to Jimmy Buffett featuring the Coral Reaper Band. One night only, Saturday, March 15th, Daly's Place.
Get to know positions and players. The 1010XL Ultimate Draft Guide is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools, the #1 pool builder in Jacksonville. Follow rankings and roundtables as the draft takes shape. Go to 1010XL.com/2025 draft guide to get yours.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich. They quote all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Glad you're along for the ride with Hays Carlyon and JJ LaSelva. I'm Frank Frangie. JJ, did you make it out here at all? Like over the weekend at all? Coming out to the tournament? Do you come out normally?
It's been a couple years, but unfortunately I have to work this weekend. So,
okay,
yeah, I won't.
Someone's got to hold down the fort.
Exactly.
I mean, Hayes, when you're out here screwing off, JJ's in there working. God dang it.
That's always the
Someone's
case.
got to freaking do it.
That's not just players.
Someone's got to freaking do it.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
50,
standard.
That's 52 weeks out of the year.
You're saying it's the other 51, too.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so there's that. All right, but big news. I do have the announcement for our the 8 Loser Monday contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will start the forum. Our Loser Monday contest will be this. We want to wrap it up before football season.
Mm-hmm.
The Players Championship, we're all just going to pick one player. We're not going to pick 2 or 3.
Okay.
We're playing one player tomorrow. Then the 4 majors.
Okay.
So it'll be golf. That'll be 5. Our first round of the NCAA tournament. So next week, our bracket.
Okay.
Okay. Whoever misses the most games in the bracket. Okay. The Final 4, which will be the players. We all draft 3 players.
Oh, love that one.
It's points scored.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing for the NBA Finals.
Oh, great.
So there you go.
So no FedEx Cup.
Yeah, no FedEx
not
Cup.
doing that
we want to wrap it up before all the football stuff gets
So
going.
8 events.
8 events.
5 golf. And then a college basketball, an NBA.
2 college basketball.
2 college
and an
basketballs
NBA.
and an NBA.
So there you
Love
go.
it.
So there you go. That is the Final 4 schedule. They're talking about it all over the world right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have it in headlines. Sweden and Norway were demanding
no question. They should lead
answers.
it. So there you go.
So can we re-pick golfers or no?
Pick them one time.
Pick them one time.
Pick them one time. You can only pick golfers one time. You can use them once. And that starts tomorrow.
Wow.
We'll do our picks. So, JJ, how you feeling about Loser Monday? I mean, this is a full
You're gonna go
Loser
8-0.
Monday season here. Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I do have some sad golf news. It doesn't really have anything to do with the players because he's not playing, but Tiger ruptured his Achilles, so we might, never see him again.
He may never come back.
And and already had the surgery.
Right.
It is bum. And listen, the reason, I don't want this to sound crass, he'll recover in today's, as athletic as he is and as committed to fitness as he is, he'll recover. And I'm really glad this didn't happen to 32-year-old Tiger. 28-year-old Tiger.
Yeah, he had enough going on there.
Yeah, he did. But you know what I mean? It didn't change who's going to win the majors.
Right.
You know, so Tiger Woods is a warrior in the weight room. So.
I don't know in my lifetime if a iconic sports figure has ever lost more of their career to injury than Tiger Woods. And the ironic thing about it is he's a golfer.
I know.
I mean, now a lot of this stuff was the Navy SEALs training and stuff like that. But in terms of just, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, Grant
maybe
Hill
King
had
Griffey Jr.
Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't feel like King Griffey Jr. missed that much time to me. I mean, it still feels like we got much of what his career would have been. I mean, Tiger Woods might have won 30 majors.
Yeah.
If he had never, I mean, he might have put that record so far out into the stratosphere.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll never know. And it's Jack Nicklaus's record, but it's just it's astonishing how much of his career he lost.
And if you throw in what we believe is the self-inflicted mistakes, in addition to the injuries he probably couldn't have helped. It all adds up.
Training with the Navy SEAls is totally self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't help him in golf. That was just something he wanted to do.
Right.
And blew out his knee, if you believe what's been written.
Right. So but anyway, it's sorry to hear that about Tiger Woods. He wasn't coming here anyway, but hopefully he's had the surgery. He'll rehab it, and so hopefully be back to being certainly a great face of golf, no question about it. By the way, speaking of golf, the military appreciation activities, again, we're not in front of them now, so we can't see them, but we know they're nearby. We are near the clubhouse, where our location at the Palm Valley Village, but the military appreciation activities are going on almost as we speak. Dan Hicks will MC those. The Jordan Davis concert is right around the corner, and it's just a great moment. It's a great moment. It's a great commitment that the tour has to the military. It's one of the best things they do, and I feel that way very sincerely. I really do. All right, I'm not going to ask you to pick golfers. We'll do that tomorrow. I'm not going to ask you who you're leaning toward because obviously I just said the stakes are gigantic.
They are gigantic.
But what kind of tournament do you expect? Beautiful weather, they go super low. Is that where we're headed, in your opinion?
I think we're headed to super low and the stars. I think the trend is going to continue where you're going to see an elite golfer claim the Players' Championship. And yes, it's the most democratic. It's anybody in the field can win it because the dimensions are smaller than at the U.S. Open, PGA. We all know that. But I think now, I was talking to Joe in the handoff about this. I think this generation of golfer, two things have happened. One, they know that. So bombers don't come here anymore thinking, well, I'll just bomb the course and I'll be fine.
I agree with that.
Everybody now comes here knowing how you have to play this course. So I think the elite players from 25 years ago maybe were a little bit more hard-headed with their approach here, and it cost them. Whereas now I think the elite players know you've really got to pick your spots out here and play very much a controlled game, greens and regulation game, and hope that you're putting great that week. So I think there's that. And I also think this tournament in the last 20 years has so elevated itself in the world of golf. When I first started covering my first Players' Championship was 2002, the year that Perks won it. And it was in March then. And it was a total warm-up act for the Masters. Right. I mean, 90% of the questions asked to all the players were Masters questions. And then it went to May for a long time. I think that helped. And then putting it back in front of the Masters, I didn't love it when they announced they were going to do it because I was worried about what it would be and would it become another warm-up act for the Masters. But it's not. You get some Masters questions here and there, but for the most part, it is an elite event. It has become an event. I don't know that like Ernie Els and Lee Jansen and maybe even like Tiger and Phil Mickelson were like, I've got to win the Players' Championship at some point in my career. I just don't think it was an important event, but I don't think it had that allure because it was still very new. Now this generation of player, the Schefflers, Xander, obviously Rory, this is one that you've got to get. I mean, it's not a quote major, but for these guys, it absolutely is in terms of wanting it on their resume.
And I'll be interested to see, because to that end, everybody wants to win today. More guys than ever are winning. Russell Henley just won. Okay. Ludwig Oberg, I know he's been a comer, but still, he's the new guy. He's only 25 years old. He just won. Joe Highsmith has won this year. Thomas Dietrich has won this year. Nick Taylor has won this year. There is such a varied conglomeration of winners. We're only in March.
Right.
There's such a varied conglomeration of winners.
And a lot of the elite players really are just now kind of getting in the groove.
But that's correct. But it does make me wonder, does somebody that we wouldn't expect to factor in, because you don't have to be a bomber in large part, do we look up and it's in the three-way tie on Sunday is Scheffler, Rory, and some dude we've never heard of that just left the Korn Ferry Tour 2 years ago and played at Wichita State. And, I think that – I wonder if we're headed toward that guy, because that guy keeps showing up every week. And I think maybe we are.
Yeah, it could be. And again, this is very much a horse for the course venue. So if you traditionally don't play well here, it's hard to reverse that. And for a lot of guys, like a guy like a Charlie Hoffman, he's a journeyman on tour. But when he comes here, he's had a lot of success. Jerry Kelly was sort of like that. He never won it, but he was one of these guys that you'd look up, and Jerry Kelly was almost always in contention on the weekend here. And he wasn't necessarily a great player year-round on the tour. So, there is a lot of that. And so as you look at this current crop, there certainly could be guys that the stadium course just fits their eye. And or they just get on an incredible heater. I mean, again, we've talked about how competitive the world of golf is now. I mean, even though we've got the split and you've got players on the LIV Tour, the 144 guys in this field are still unbelievable at this. And so if you let one of them get hot, then but what I think you're going to see is you're going to see one of these elite players get hot. And I don't know if it'll be as dramatic as it was last year, because that'd be really hard to live up to, with Scheffler repeating and having the reigning U.S. Open champion with a chance to send it to a playoff, a player in Xander Schauffele who was getting ready to go on to win 2 majors that calendar year, and then Brian Harman, who'd won the British Open. I don't know that you're going to see that, and I don't get a sense we're going to see the Scheffler three-peat, because that just seems like the odds are so astronomical for it to happen.
Yeah, it does.
But I do think that we'll have a champion Sunday that everybody that even remotely knows golf will know who that player is.
All right, we'll talk golf the rest of the week. Can't wait to do it. The military appreciation festivities about to get underway. Meanwhile, we'll continue the show after the break. We'll talk a little college basketball. Stay with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Every game is a story.
And the game is tied.
Every play is a moment waiting to happen.
We're going to overtime.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
For Canine Veterans Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute all active and retired canines that have served our country. Canine Veterans Day has been officially designated as a day to honor these unique members of our military. America salutes you.
Big names, new jerseys.
To me, the most important aspect of winning is chemistry.
Follow the free agent frenzy. Built by Superior Fence and Rail and Roland Leash Plumbing. Tune up the off-season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Take your taste buds to One Night Taco Stand for Taco Tuesday. Get $2.99 tacos and $6.99 specialty drinks. The 1010XL restaurant of the day is One Night Taco Stand, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Hicken here. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services. Call 904-862-6769.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you've got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville. All the details on their Facebook page.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
My name is Joanne. I'm 75 years old, and I have lost 35 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. I was pre-diabetic. I was ready to go on cholesterol medication. My blood pressure was up even on medication. Now I have no need for cholesterol medication. My blood sugar is fine, and I actually am cutting down on my blood pressure medicine. I have knee replacements and hip replacements, and I had difficulty walking, and now I can walk without any problem. I feel lighter. I feel more energetic. It is a lifestyle that will help you to lose weight without medication.
Thanks, Joanne. Matt Hays here. Stories like Joanne's are the reason I continue to share the Awaken 180 message. The results speak for themselves, and I'm confident you'll have the same success if you let them show you how. Do what Joanne did, what I did, and what over 24,000 others have done, and choose the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. It looks very likely that last year's backup and the Bowl School's very own Mac Jones will be heading elsewhere next season, as the new staff has brought in former 49ers and Vikings quarterback Nick Mullins. Mullins most recently was in Minnesota, just like offensive coordinator Grant Udinski. With Trevor Lawrence dealing with lots of injuries as of recent, bringing in a veteran quarterback to back him up, especially one of the offensive coordinator is familiar with him, is a great insurance piece for the Jags. Mullins was drafted out of Southern Miss in 2017 and is 5-15 in his career as a starter with 34 touchdowns, 31 picks, and a 65.8% completed percentage. As a backup, Mullins has only started 4 games in the last 4 years. The Jags hope going with a familiar vet will be the right choice if injury were to happen to Lawrence again. It's 73 degrees at 5:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on the Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We do thank our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. That's Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue. Nimnick Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. You want a terrific car, a terrific American-made car from Buick, from GMC, and, of course, from Chevrolet. I've been buying my cars there since the early 80s, and you can as well. Head to Nimnick Chevrolet today. 1982 is the first time I bought my own car. And Bill Nimnick Jr., God rest his soul, taught me how to buy a car. And I've been buying them from his son and others many, many years since then. So thanks to the Nimnick family of dealerships for sponsoring this program for so many, many years. The Nimnick Tuesday continues along here. The Gator basketball team, it's hard, and you have to separate your bias. I get that. But I watched Duke, North Carolina. I watched a good half of that game. Duke's got a good team. I would, and maybe it's my bias coming through, and I always admit to that. But if they played on a pickup court right here at the Players tomorrow, I'd pick Florida to beat them. I think Florida's got more pieces. I think Florida's more physical. They don't have a player as good as Cooper Flagg, obviously. But I think, who does?
But that's not often what gets you through in the NCAA tournament.
That's correct. Their guards, I think, are better. Carolina led that game. Carolina's not very good and led that game for a while. Led that game till late, till midway through the second half. I have not watched Houston. There are teams I haven't. There's good teams I haven't. I watched Michigan State. Now they're pretty good. I watched them on Sunday against Michigan. They're pretty good. But listen, we've seen all those SEC teams, and it just takes one bad performance. And yes, I'll say it again. It's a concern that you got a bunch of guys that haven't been there and other teams have. But I think top to bottom, I'm as confident. There's been 2 other times in my life I expected Florida to win a national title. In my life. I did not expect it in 94 when they got to the Final Four. I did not expect it in 2000 when they were a 5 seed and got to the final game. Now, by the time they got to that game, I might have thought it, but I didn't go into the tournament thinking it. I did not think it in 06 when they won the national title, when they began the season unranked, by the way. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Began the season unranked.
They were a 3 seed in that tournament.
Yeah, and began the season unranked. I expected them to win it in 07, and they did. I expected them to win it in 14, and they didn't. This will be the 3rd time I think there's a good chance they win the national championship of college basketball. They might not, but and I said before I say this today, make sure, because you're being a homer, make sure at least your homerism has some evidence. They won at Auburn and at Alabama. They beat Tennessee, the best defensive team in America, by 30 points. They went 27-4 and 14-4 in what is often referred to as the best college basketball conference of all time. I'm not sure I'm there yet. I'm not sure I can get that it's necessarily better than St. John's, Georgetown, Villanova, UConn, Seton Hall, Providence, Syracuse, all in the same league. But it doesn't matter. But the point is, it's certainly in the conversation with them is the best conference of all time. And they went 14-4. They've got guards, which is what you need to win. They got veteran guards. Veteran guards are what beat Florida in 14, by the way. UConn had veteran guards, and that's why Florida doesn't have the trophy, and UConn does. They've got veteran guards. They play defense. They can shoot threes, and you cannot win the national championship now unless you make a bunch of threes. You cannot. You cannot. Old school basketball people don't like it that way, but you cannot win if you don't make a lot of threes. They make those. And they finally have scoring on the interior, which is what they did not have through 2/3 of the season. But Alex Condon has become a very good interior scorer. Houck gets more of his points inside, putback points. Chinyelu is a better scorer now than he was when they got him. And now that Handlogden's playing, he keeps the ball alive. They've got size. They've got depth. They've got shooting. They've got physicality. They've got experience. They are as positioned to win the national championship of college basketball as anybody else. The team that I think is the biggest impediment to that is Auburn. I think Auburn's really good, and the one time they played, Florida clearly handled them on Auburn's home floor. It's hard for me not to. I can tell you where my bracket's headed. It's hard for me not to pick Florida Gators to win the national title.
Well, I mean, again, in looking at it, Florida has no bad losses. I mean, they lost at Kentucky, who's 12th in the net, Missouri at home, 21st, at Tennessee, who's 5th, and at Georgia, who's 30th. So they have no bad losses, and they're 3-1 against Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee, and only one of those 4 games was in Gainesville. So their resume absolutely suggests that they can win the national title. If you put Duke uniforms on the Florida Gators, everybody would be picking them.
Great point.
But
100%.
But no one knows Todd Golden, and you got to earn that. I think even if this was a Billy team, I think there would be a lot of talk about Florida's going to win the national title. They're the best team. Because Billy Donovan had that cachet. He had done it. He had won 2 titles. It's just college basketball, when you're new, you gotta earn that respect. And so I think Florida's got the best team. I don't think they're lacking anything. Their foul shooting can be a bit of an issue. But they, proved a couple games ago. I can't even remember the win now, but they had to win the game at the line. It might have been the Alabama game because it wasn't Ole Miss. I think it was the Bama game. And because Bama kept hitting the threes.
Right.
Condon and Houck went to the line, 1-on-1 situations, made them both. But free throw shooting, could Florida have a game where they go 12 of 21 from the foul line? I could see that, and they lose a game, by 1, something like that. But, I mean, you look at what they throw at you, and it's just none of their substitutions take them out of anything that they want to do. If they take Condon out, here comes Houck. If they take Chinlelu out, here comes Han-Logden. If they take Clayton out, here comes Aberdeen. If they take Richard out, here comes Klavzar. They just have so much depth that it's not even depth. Because, depth would indicate there is a drop-off, at least somewhat of a drop-off. There really isn't. Obviously, Clayton's a superstar. He's going to be a first-team All-American. But they absolutely have one of the deepest rosters that I've ever seen a college basketball team have. Certainly, I think the deepest team I've ever seen the Gators produce, because I think they're deeper than the 2 title teams. They're just not maybe as splendid talent-wise at the very top with their stars. So, as you look at it, all the metrics line up. Florida, from an analytical standpoint, has everything offensively and defensively that checks with the teams that have won the national title over the last 20 years. The commonalities between those national champions, Florida aligns with very well. And so we'll see. And look, I like how their road lays out this week in the SEC tourney. I think the fact that, if they play Missouri, who's the best team that they could see Friday, I think they're going to be motivated because they've only seen Missouri once, and Missouri beat them in Gainesville. So I think they'll be ready Friday night. If the seeds hold, they play Alabama on Saturday, who I think they own. So I think they'll beat Alabama in Nashville. And then you're on to the final against an Auburn team, in all likelihood, that you beat in your house. So, they could easily – this conversation could change by the time you get to Sunday, because if Florida wins the SEC tournament, my goodness. Their resume will be – and let's say they go through Alabama and Auburn to do that, they would now be 5-1 against Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee, and only one of those games was in Gainesville. That's staggering. So they can absolutely win the national title. I really think Todd Golden is an excellent coach. Could there be something as they get further into the tournament? Do we see a wart pop up? Does he not handle something? Does the moment get big for Todd Golden because he's, we've just never seen him do it? Yeah, that has to be considered as well.
Of course it does. Yeah.
But, other than the fact that they just don't have the pedigree, they don't have previous trips where you can say, oh, yeah, I know Todd Golden because he cut down the nets in Salt Lake City or wherever. You don't have that. But in terms of what you need as a basketball team to win the whole thing, they have everything you need if they can stay healthy. If they can get through the SEC tournament and they don't have any injuries in the NCAA tournament, it's hard to see which team, particularly early in that event, is going to be able to knock them out. I mean, maybe they lose to Houston in the national semifinal, or certainly Auburn, could be a team that does it, but maybe Duke. But I'm with you. I don't think a defensive team like Houston and Tennessee on a neutral court are going to be able to lock down this team long enough to win that kind of a game. And as we've seen, if you try and get into a shootout with Florida, they can handle that and get enough defensive stops to beat you that way.
We will take a break. When we come back, Hays has headlines. We're live from the Players on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Buick GMC. And as we begin 2025, Nimnick is excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. If you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Here's to another year of driving forward together. Looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now, with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value on your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the best time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. And man, you get all the makes and models: Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Trading in your old vehicle? Don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Living life on the edge of your seat.
Are you kidding me?
Your front row seat for play-by-play.
Break it free, they're not going to catch you.
1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or cater desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
The Players, one of the biggest events on the PGA Tour, is right here in our backyard. So how much do you know about the tournament? Scotty Scheffler returns to Ponte Vedra as the first ever to defend his title as a Players champion and now seeks a three-peat. If he can, he'll join Jack Nicklaus as the only two to win the Players 3 times. Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed-income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community.
The Mr. Chubby's Bracket Challenge is coming. Following Selection Sunday, go to 1010XL.com, print your bracket, and bring it to any Mr. Chubby swings during Live Madness games. Get a free Miller Lite for every game you pick right. Top prize, Saturday passes to Welcome to Rockville.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your next round of golf with us. Our welcoming atmosphere and love for golf keep our friends coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase now through March.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Yes, give our friends at Harold and Harold a call at 251-1111. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you get injured, that is who you need to place your trust into. Frank, we're here at the Players' Championship. We love it out here, but we are going to start with the Jaguars. Now that the first wave of free agency is beyond us, what do you think? Has it changed at all, what you think they'll look for in the draft?
Not really. I still think the one position they didn't get in free agency was the defensive tackle. I think Mason Graham has got to be the guy they target. Now, will he be there at 5? He might not be. I think that's the question. But I've got to believe defensive tackle is something they've got to address. I've thought that all along. I think they're going to add a receiver at some point. I thought that all along. I think they're going to add a corner. I thought that all along. And I think you got to have more offensive linemen from a depth standpoint. Cooper Hodges is your backup. He had that brutal knee injury. I hope it's okay. So, no, I still think it's the same. If you ask me my predictions for what position they will take at 5 overall, if they don't move out of there, and I'm guessing they won't. If you're asking the positions, Hayes, I'd still say in whatever order, defensive line, wide receiver, cornerback. I still believe that.
In terms of Jaguars that have departed, former Jaguar safety Andre Sisco has a new home. He has agreed to terms with the New York Jets.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. You know, he's a great ball hawk. He had 13 interceptions in college at Syracuse. He's had 8 interceptions in his years here. He's only 25 years old. But boy, he got beat over the top a bunch, man. I don't know if that was the scheme or his instincts, but boy, oh boy, he left a lot to be desired. And he's a good guy and he's a nice guy, and I hope he does well. But boy, at some point, those balls over the top start to concern you. And I can tell you from the people with whom I spoke who would know, on a lot of those deep balls, he was the guy. He was the guy beating. So hopefully he does well. You always wish former Jaguars. I always wish former Jaguars. I always hope that they do well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to around the NFL. Some big news in the AFC South today. Daniel Jones to the Colts on a 1-year, $14 million deal. So the Colts talked about an open competition for Anthony Richardson. He now has that.
And my guess is that's who they had targeted all along, because they kept saying open competition. Matt Taylor, the play-by-play voice, and a buddy of mine said, we don't know what that means. Colts brass came out the very next day and said, there will be competition. We're all trying to figure out what it meant. Well, this is the perfect guy. This is a guy that, like Anthony Richardson, was drafted very high. Like Anthony Richardson, is tall and athletic and can run and has a big arm. So his skill set is very similar to Anthony's. It's which of those two guys. If they'd have brought in a journeyman guy, then you knew it was a stopgap. Now they brought in a guy that could be their guy. And so now it looks like it's a real competition. It'll be fun to watch.
It will be fun to watch. I would give Daniel Jones the edge there, so we will see if Richardson can respond. The Texans have traded offensive lineman Kenyon Green to Philadelphia for safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The 27-year-old Gardner-Johnson has 18 career interceptions. It feels like he should be older than 27. It feels like he was at Florida 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Green, Houston's first-round pick in 2022, started 23 games in his 3 years with the Texans. There's some draft compensation involved in this deal, too, but it's later rounds, so I'm not going to bore you with those details. But an interesting trade, Texans trading an offensive lineman to get a safety back from the world champion Eagles.
Interesting on both counts. Gardner-Johnson was a big part of that run. He's the chirpiest guy. He's talking to everybody all the time. He's the biggest trash talker in the league, some say. But he's a good player. He can find the ball. And so I'm surprised that a team that just won the Super Bowl would move on from an important part of who they are. As for the Texans, they're gutting their offensive line. It wasn't a very good offensive line, and Tunsil goes yesterday, Green goes today. Obviously, there's a rebuild there.
The Chargers are signing running back Najee Harris. The 27-year-old Harris ran for over 1,000 yards in all 4 of his seasons in Pittsburgh in what was kind of viewed as a slightly disappointing run there.
Yeah, he's very physical. He can get downhill, but there's not a lot of burst. I think the Steelers felt like Jaylen Warren was clearly the better of the two backs, and that made Najee expendable. Got $10 million, I think. So, he was the best back in the draft that year. ETN was the other back in the draft that year, and Najee never quite became, I think, what they thought he would.
One player that we thought might be on the Jaguars' radar was safety Javon Holland. He has agreed to terms with the Giants. 3 years, $45 million, so substantially more than what the Jaguars gave Eric Murray.
Yeah, and by the way, he would have three for 45 would have made him the most expensive free agent, and that's what we talked about at the top of the program, Hayes. They couldn't go get a guy like that. They couldn't go get a $15 million safety if they had to go get 9 or 10 guys. That again was the theme of this free agency. You and I kind of predicted it on Friday, and it played out that way this week. The Jags didn't believe they could go and spend $15 million per on a safety when they had 9 or 10 other spots, 8 or 9 other spots to fill.
The Vikings were very active in the last 24 hours. They signed defensive lineman Jonathan Allen on a 3-year, $60 million deal. Minnesota has also agreed to terms with guard Will Fries on a 5-year deal worth $88 million. So the Vikings really loading up in the trenches.
I asked Jaguar brass about Jonathan Allen. I think he's a really good player. I think he is at a position where the Jags really, really need help. I think on the interior of the defensive line. But you know the answer. He just got $20 million a year. And when you've got that many spots to replace, you can't give $20 million a year to an interior 2-down. Really, for the most part, a 2-down lineman.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get it to the Players' Championship, where it is a beautiful day here at the stadium course. Key tee times, the group featuring 2-time defending champion Scotty Scheffler, former Players' champion Rory McIlroy, and Xander Schauffele will tee off Thursday at 1:29 p.m. from the first tee, and will start Friday's second round at 8:24 a.m. off the 10th tee.
What about, like I said yesterday, Scheffler, Rory, and JJ LaSelva would be a great group. It would draw a crowd. But I love the way that they say there's no one will ever tell you how they pair them. It's a lot of formula, a lot of this, and Lee told us he has nothing to do with it. But don't kid yourself. Putting those two guys together so the gallery will be crazy is part of it. I'll be watching them. I'll be walking with them. I'll walk with them Thursday until we're on the air, and I'll walk with them Friday. I promise you. I don't know all 18 holes both days, but I'll spend a good day. Won't you? Absolutely. I'll spend a good part of my days walking with them.
Absolutely. PGAtour.com's fantasy golf expert Rob Bolton has a surprise.
Whoa!
Yeah. Atop his players' power poll, and Sepp Straka, the Austrian, is the FedEx Cup points leader. Bolton has him number 1. Going into the week.
That tells me when the Helmets and Heels does their when they do their draft, I know who Lauren Brooks is taking. You've answered that for sure. That is that we know that Seth Strackenbo is a really good player.
Yeah.
He's probably the next really good player who's about to break through.
I think you should pick him.
I just might. I will tell you this: if I do, I'm not gonna lie about this. The Tom Kite camp won't be happy.
That's true.
They kind of count on me,
Let's get it to Loser Monday. Give us a preview, Frank. Give us the details of what we should expect for this week's event and for the season of Loser Monday.
We have 8 events. The way we do Loser Monday is Hays, JJ, and I all pick, and it doesn't matter who wins. We used to say you want to finish third when there were 4 of us. Now you want to finish second. We all pick a winner, and whoever's person does the worst has to go buy lunch at Bono's. And I love Bono's, and I love lunch. And so the 8 events will be, 5 of the events will be golf events. The Players Championship and then the 4 majors. Whoever, you can only pick a player once. How your player does, whoever does the worst buys that week. But we're also going to pick the NCAA bracket. Next week we pick the bracket. We all fill out our full brackets. Whoever does the best and the worst in the first 32 games. So the first weekend, whoever has the worst record buys lunch. We also do the Final Four. We all will draft 3 players in the final among the 4 teams in the Final Four, and whoever scores the most or the least. And then our final event will be the NBA, and we wait till the finals because that's kind of when I start watching the NBA. And then we'll all pick 3 players from the 2 teams, and that's how we will do it.
Sounds great.
I can't wait. I love Loser Monday, and there are 8 events. We wrap it up before football season, and we have a big hat for the grand loser to wear.
Yep, there you go. And then we start the football picks, which is always a lot of fun. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan met with reporters this morning and says the tour is still seeking unification with LIV, but hurdles still remain. Frank, are you optimistic that the world of golf will reach a point of unity in the next year or so?
I'm optimistic it'll happen at some point, Hays. I think we need all the best players in the world playing in the same tournament. And nobody disagrees with that. I'm not well read enough or informed enough to know what the holdup is and to know why we haven't been able to get there. But yes, I am confident that we will get there and that the day will come. And within the next year was your question? Gosh, I think so, but who knows anymore, right? So I think so, but I'm not confident. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good. JJ mentioned this earlier in the show, but boy, tough news for Tiger Woods today. Tears his Achilles, he announced. So obviously Tiger Woods, whatever competitive golf he was going to try to play this year, whether it's the Masters or so forth, that's obviously off the table. But just another devastating medical setback for Tiger Woods.
Yeah, and it is a shame, and it is a devastating medical setback. You said it exactly right. And I said this earlier, I'll say it again, I won't say the bad news the wrong way. Not the good news. Good news is the wrong phrase. But I'm glad it didn't happen to 27-year-old Tiger when he was king of the world, because that could have changed his career forever. And the Tiger that is now just had Achilles surgery was not going to win any golf tournaments of note anyway. And so hopefully he has a healthy recovery. It is repairable, and as hard as he works in the world of rehab, he will repair it. And hopefully he'll do better. But you hate to hear it. I totally agree with that.
Let's get to college basketball. Florida is the number 2 seed in the upcoming SEC tournament. They play Friday in the quarterfinals. That opponent will be revealed late Thursday night after Missouri plays the winner of LSU Mississippi State. But Frank, what are your expectations this week for the Gators in Nashville?
I think they'll get to Saturday. I think Missouri's going to be the team they'll play. I think Mississippi State's going to beat LSU, and I think Missouri's going to beat Mississippi State. I think they're going to beat Missouri. I think there's a chip on them. There's a perfect team for them to be playing because there's a chip on their shoulder. That's the one team that went into Gainesville this year and won. I think they'll get to Saturday. And then listen, it's anybody's game. If Kentucky beats Alabama, I don't know if I'll pick Florida to beat Kentucky. They don't match up well with Kentucky. They match up very well with Alabama, a point you made well before I did, and you were dead on. But yeah, if you ask me to guess, I'm going to guess they get to Sunday and lose to Auburn. That'd be my guess. That's taking chalk all the way, but that's kind of what I think.
Yeah. Florida State begins play in the ACC tourney tonight against Syracuse. The Noles are 17-14 overall and 8-12 in the ACC, while the Orange are 13-8 and 7-13. The winner gets 6th seed SMU tomorrow.
Yeah, FSU just beat SMU, so if they get to that game, it'll be interesting. They'll play a good team that they just beat. FSU's going nowhere. We all know that. This year, I am intrigued to see what happens with Luke Laux, because of what I told you earlier in the week, he was so clearly Mike Alford's target, much like Todd Golden was clearly Scott Strickland's target. There was no talk to 3 or 4 guys, vet a few guys, interview a bunch. I can tell you when Florida hired Scott Strickland, I was told when they hired Todd Golden, I was told Scott's got his guy. He's going to go try and hire him. I can tell you, I told you that story. It seems like Mike Alford the same way. So I'm interested in FSU basketball moving forward. They were this convinced this was the guy, an alumnus, obviously, but I don't think they'll make much news in this year's postseason ACC tournament.
Let's get it to Major League Baseball. Terrible news for the Yankees as ace Garrett Cole will have Tommy John surgery and miss the season.
He's one of my favorite players. He's a former Pirate, and he played on those Pirate teams in 13, 14, 15, the best the run Pirates have had in 30 years. I like him. His brother-in-law is Brandon Crawford, who played shortstop for the Giants for all those years. So I like everything about Garrett Cole. I'm a big fan. He probably should have had it last year. If you remember, he hurt the elbow last year. They shut him down for a couple months, I think it was. And people that in the knows that he probably should have had it then pitched through it. And then had it this year. He'll be back. He's a tireless worker, and people can come back from Tommy John now, but you hate to see it.
We will get you out on our musical nugget of the day. We love celebrating our local music flashbacks. Well, on this date, back in 1977, ELO performed at the Jacksonville Coliseum. The tour was supporting the band's 6th studio album, A New World Record. The set list that night, Frank, was 17 songs. This is Evil Woman.
Oh, one of the best ones ever. I did not know that, by the way. I did not know they played here. I might not have been as into them then. I kind of learned about them as we went a little bit. Mm-hmm. But how about that? I did not realize that, but you can play this all day for me. I promise you that. Well done, as always. Live from the Players. We'll be back to wrap the program after this.
You took my body and pledged to win.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell & Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
PGA Tour Round 1 of the Players' Championship will be on Thursday at TPC Sawgrass, affectionately known as golf's 5th major, one of the toughest fields in tournament golf. World number 1 Scotty Scheffler is the defending champion, and he also enters as the betting favorite to win the Players at plus 500. Colin Morikawa coming off a runner-up finish at Bay Hill. He is plus 1,100. Rory McIlroy is at plus 1,200. Ludwig Aberg, who won the Genesis Invitational earlier this year at Torrey Pines, plus 1,600. Justin Thomas at plus 2,200. Hideki Matsuyama, Tommy Fleetwood, and Xander Schauffele all at plus 2,500. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services, making it easy for you to work with one trusted company and one simple build. Every department has highly skilled experts trained for the job. For fast, reliable service from a company that does it all the right way, call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at hodgesmazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hacker here, and as most of you know, I'm now in Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. 122 pounds gone, and that number on the scale hasn't crept up a pound. I didn't just choose Awaken 180 because of the weight loss. I chose Awaken 180 to keep the weight off. I wasn't going to put in the work, the highs, the achievements, just to watch it slip away after the program stopped. I wanted a solution, and boy, I sure found it. Awaken 180 is life-changing and life-altering. Over 120 pounds down in just 10 months. Now I'm in the maintenance program. I still get the coaching that I need. I still get the motivation that got me 120 pounds down, and I'm not gaining it back. If it's time for you to lose the weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Who will win the players? Hello Windows and Doors presents the 1010XL Players You Pick'em contest. Go to 1010XL.com and pick who you think will win this year's tournament. You could win $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Go to 1010XL.com today.
It's March Madness, and your office needs a champion. Advanced Business Solutions teams up with Xerox to bring you copiers that never miss a shot. Fast, reliable, and ready to handle the pressure. Make the winning play for your business. Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions, where your business goes for the win. Locally and veteran-owned.
Print documents and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where we've been today, well, a little bit of golf talk. We are here at the Players. It's our first day out here, the military appreciation. Jordan Davis just wrapping up the concert as we speak here, but it's a wonderful celebration and a wonderful way for the Players Championship to say thank you to our fantastic military. Always an emotional day out here. The military appreciation concert just wrapping up and the whole celebration wrapping up as well. We talked some Jaguars football. We went through one more time the 9 players the Jags hope to sign tomorrow at 4 o'clock and what they've done and why they did it. We certainly talked about that. We've talked about other things in the world of golf, players to beat, Tiger's Achilles injury, and we talked some college basketball, Gator basketball. Namely, it's hard for me to not pick them now to win the national championship. I think their team is that good. So that is where we've been over the course of the day today.
I think they're going to win the SEC tournament.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, and I mean, I think they beat Auburn. I think Auburn will take care of Tennessee, although I'm not. Auburn's got a much harder road.
Yeah.
Because to have to play Tennessee and possibly, well, they won't have to play them both, but to have either Tennessee or A&M coming out of the 4-5,
right?
That's a challenge.
I agree.
But I think Tennessee will beat the Aggies, and I'm not sure Tennessee won't get Auburn in Nashville.
The two teams I don't want to see as a Gator fan are Tennessee and Kentucky. Now, part of that's because we only lost 4 games, and that was 2 of the losses. But those are the two teams. Missouri also beat Florida. That one doesn't worry me. Georgia beat Florida. Obviously, that one doesn't worry me. That was one of those games. But the two teams that beat them that do concern me are Kentucky. I don't think Florida matches up well. Tennessee's just so physical. They're the one team. They may be even – well, I guess A&M's that's this way too. I think A&M, Tennessee, and Florida are the 3 most physical teams in the league. But I think Tennessee matches up with Florida because they're physical. A&M's physical inside. I think Tennessee's physical on the perimeter.
Right.
And I think they match up with Florida well for that reason. And Kentucky can just go. They're long and can score. Florida,
and they're going to have the whole building.
Yeah, as they always do.
Yeah.
As they always do. Yeah. And Tennessee will have a good crowd too. But you're right about that. So those are the two teams I don't. If we could avoid. If Alabama,
I'd much rather play Alabama than Kentucky.
Oh, no question. Yeah, and Florida's proven they can. And you said it before they played this year. 3 times in a row now they've handled Alabama, and they've kind of handled them kind of convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We are at the Players Championship. We can't wait tomorrow. We'll be out here. We'll make our picks. The 3 of us will all pick one player, and then we can't use that player again throughout the course. We'll pick one golfer. I will tell you this. I love it more when one of the named guys is the guy to beat, guy coming down the stretch. This year, that opinion's even on steroids because as much as I love the guy, how much fun will it be if Scotty is chasing a 3-peat?
Be unbelievable.
I mean, there's never been a 2-peat until he did it, and now he's chasing. Obviously, he's the first player to ever chase the 3-peat. How cool would that be if he's on that leaderboard or the leader as we get to the middle of the day on Sunday?
If he pulls it off, I think you can make a case. It's the most incredible accomplishment in modern golf that we've seen. I mean, it won't get that national respect because the Players isn't considered a major, but in a lot of ways it's harder than winning a major because you don't have a bunch of amateurs in this field.
Right.
These are all PGA Tour pros that are playing in this field, and and to beat that field 3 straight years.
Right.
Again, I don't know that there's been any other run in a tournament that would be comparable. And so it really will be amazing if he's able to do it. And look, I mean, he was competitive at Bay Hill and didn't make a single thing on the green and still finished, T11? So it's still the same adage is from a year or 2 prior. If Scheffler putts even decently, he's probably going to win the event. If he putts well, he's going to win the event in a runaway.
Yeah.
And if he putts poorly, then other people have a chance to win the event.
Who was it?
That was Brandel Chamblee.
Yeah.
And he's dead on.
Yeah, he's exactly right. So he and what he said is exactly right. But I can't wait. I will tell you, if you're thinking about coming out here, again, we didn't have Lee today. We will have him tomorrow. And he'll be able to get into it with us where the ticket situation is. But if you can get your hands on tickets, this is really a year to come out. The weather is so spectacular. Will you be out over the weekend, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
You're coming
absolutely.
out? Yeah.
Definitely. I think Jackson and I are going to come Sunday for the first time.
Yeah.
Because Saturday, obviously, Florida might be playing at like 4.
Probably the 3:34.
Yeah, and so that'd be tough. So, but Sunday, he's never seen we always come on Saturday.
Yeah.
So this year he's older, so I was like, why don't we do get some of the more intense, real golf competition, particularly if it's a crowded leaderboard at the end.
Right.
So that'll be fun. Plus, if Florida gets to the final, you can watch the SEC final at like noon.
You get out here for the
and
afternoon.
then get out here right as the leaders are starting.
Yeah, there you go. I think I'm going to be out here all. I shouldn't say rarely come on Sunday. That's not true. But there are often times I don't come on Sunday, and this will probably be a year. I don't think I'm coming Sunday. I think no one could rain them. I do. I am guilty of being one of the ones who likes to sit home and watch golf.
That's normally how I am, but I want him to see it at least once.
When it really matters.
What it feels like on 17 when the final group comes.
Great call.
And the tournament's in the balance.
Yeah, I've still said one of the of all the tournaments that being here when Mark McCumber won, being here when local people win, being here with Tiger, one of the most dramatic Sundays I can ever remember was Ricky Fowler winning in a 3-hole playoff.
Oh, that was incredible.
It was one of the most amazing tournaments I ever
I'm
saw.
still shocked that never sprung him to more success.
Right. He was right on the cusp.
Because that's 10 years now.
I know. He's right on the cusp. All right. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou. He was out here.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Rick Ballou was out here on these grounds today. Wasn't it beautiful, Rick?
So good to see you. So good to see Hays and his wife. I learned a bunch of new, exciting things today. It was a great day out at TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful day today. What gorgeous weather. We're going to have this kind of weather all year. When are you going to make your picks, by the way, Rick? When are you going to make your picks?
Well, I've got the Boston Capper coming on in 1 hour at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm going to take that with me to the lab. And then tomorrow night, Rafael Esparza will tell us where all the money's going out of Las Vegas. So I'm going to take that with me. And I think I'll make my pick, let's say, Friday around 10 of 8. How does that sound?
I think it's a good plan.
Yeah.
A good plan. All right. What's coming up tonight, Rick?
Yeah, we got that. We got the latest. Again, it was just, I'll raise my hand and admit it. I complained. I haven't done it in the last couple of years, but I complained forever that I wanted this event in May. And, the free agency period kind of came and went yesterday, so that was avoided. But, with the conference tournaments kicking off today, there's just so much going on. But if you're going to drop weather like was put on there today, I mean, you just can't beat it. It was absolutely spectacular. So a great time out there. A few things I want to learn numbers-wise. Daniel Griffiths is going to join us. For instance, what's going on here with Diami Brown? You heard that maybe he's a slot guy. He's played most of his snaps on the outside. So we're going to take a look at some of these newest acquisitions that came in yesterday and what they did with their former team and what we believe they're going to do here now as members of the Jaguars.
All right, and you'll be out here tomorrow? You'll be out the rest of the week watching golf?
I'm not going to be able to make it tomorrow, but I'll be out there the rest of the week. Absolutely.
All right, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
See
Rick
you guys.
Ballou. He goes into the night. That comes up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. And don't go anywhere. 2 hours of Rick Ballou starts in just a moment or two. We'll be back out here at the golf tournament. Same bat time, same bat channel. We're out of here. For Rick Ballou. For Hays and JJ and Rick Ballou, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.